All right, everybody, we'll start with an opening statement, and we will take some questions. Raise your hand, and we will get a mic to you.
Contrary to early returns, it was because of our crowd and not because of my shoes. Our crowd was tremendous from the tip to every time that Kentucky would make a big run. The crowd had an answer for us, and really appreciate the guy who kept yelling at me to guard 15. We were trying. I didn't think about that until they started yelling at me, but our crowd was the difference today. Everybody says, what's the difference in how you've been playing? What's the difference in all that stuff? And it's for the way our kids responded when they saw the crowd and they did come. We didn't quite get to our goal, but that's the biggest crowd since 2011. And I guarantee you, anybody that was in the gym today that saw that, I think they might come back and might even bring somebody. That was a lot of fun. It was, I thought, two good teams going at it, and we just played exceptionally well in the second half.
You have a different opinion of the 5,600 figure than what looked like was there?
It was 10 when we played at South Carolina. That crowd was 10,000. So I don't know how they count theirs, but I don't know. It felt like a lot more than that, but I'm sure that's probably actual people that were here and paid, and that's a big, big number. We talked earlier, I think maybe you and I were, Grant, or maybe it was you, Paul, that, they just count differently than they used to. I mean, we have scanners and we have real ways other than counting on somebody just to ballpark it. So we had that number in our head. Our kids are excited. They didn't care about it, whether it was ranked in the top 25 or not, but the crowd definitely made the difference.
Patterson already. I think she had 21 in the fourth quarter.
Amazing. Her little sister, I can't talk about it. Never mind, I forgot. But she's a great kid. I've known her for a while. Man, I don't like to play against her, but you're proud to see her do what she's doing. It's good to have Ryan Howard back. I know she wasn't 100%. That you saw the bandage she had on, but I thought it was valiant of her to play the way that she did. And I thought our kids did a good job on her. She'd have gotten 40 if she had two hands. But tonight that wouldn't have been close, but maybe not enough.
Seeing Chelsea, seeing the ball go in early, Chelsea said, that's big confidence for her. I mean, what does that do for your team?
Makes us a lot harder to guard. It makes us a lot harder to guard. I'll tell you what she did early in the game, too. She made 3 great passes in transition when she was trapped that got us going, that led to some of that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it makes, with her going 8 for 12, 4 for 4, doing all that stuff, that makes us incredibly hard to guard. And if you want to trap us, you've got to better be rotating out of it 2 or 3 times. Whereas I think maybe if she doesn't see it go in early, maybe they don't rotate toward her and make her make a couple of those. But 4-4 from the three-point line. Here's the difference. She's been in the gym a lot lately. She's had I've asked and we've asked so many things of her. Let the SEC network follow you around. Come in, do this interview, go do that thing, and all with good intentions, but really, really hard on a kid. So getting her back in the gym, getting focused, and then I think pretty much everybody else kind of doing what they've been doing. Taking what comes to them. Obviously, Lex caught fire in the second half, and for us to score 65 points on a good defensive Kentucky team, I just wouldn't have predicted that. Other than we did have some good practices.
You out-rebounded by 14. You shoot 59% from the floor, 67%.
Yeah.
Just the overall day that you had all around.
It's one of those magical ones. February 9th's been a special day. We at Washington one time we knocked off number 2 Stanford on February the 9th on national TV on ESPN, and that kind of propelled us onto the Final Four. So we'll try to draw some parallels to that. But that rebound number that you're pointing out, that was what I pointed out. ESPN asked me that question on the air. What number of all the good numbers on there? I said, when I looked down and saw us at plus 14, I thought I was looking at it wrong. I thought, oh, wait, that's the Kentucky end, and we were getting out-rebounded. But for us to do that against a quality team, that's a sign of engagement when you get rebounds and you get 50-50 balls. Chelsea took a charge tonight on purpose. She rotated over. She was in the right spot. It wasn't one of those she couldn't get out of the ways. She rotated. That was a sign she was engaged. Taylor Thomas had 2 huge follow tip-ins that showed she was engaged. I just thought everybody was really we only wrote one thing on the board today. One thing and one thing only. It was a motto that Hunter's brought in here, and we've been winning as one, and I just wrote the word one on there. I said, There's no scheme. There's no play calls. There's no matchup talk. If we go out there and play and there's a lot of evidence that we play like we're one, then we will win. So writing on the board in pregame's overrated.
Snap a streak, and I think this is probably the biggest win of the year for you guys.
Yeah.
Just signature win. I mean, just getting all that done today too.
Well, it's an RPI, top 50 RPI win. So now, nobody can sit around and go, well, they don't have any top 25 wins. They don't have any RPI wins in the top whatevers. It is a ranked team. It gets you going. And it will breed confidence. Now the challenge will be with us is to remind everybody, just like we have with every other game, it's just worth one. But that's our 7th win in league on February, whatever it is, 9th. Yeah, I just said that date, didn't I? It's our 7th win. That puts us into one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the history of our team in the SEC play, with a few games still left to play and some great opportunities. We've got 2 more great home opportunities for our fans that were here today to come back and see Tennessee and LSU. And then we go on the road against Florida, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State.
Chelsea got her second foul. Did you have to do some soul searching, like how do I handle
No,
this?
we've done it already this year. She fouls about once every 22 minutes over the course of the year. There was a study done a few years ago about taking people out with 2 fouls, and you have to know your kid. We did it against Kansas State. We did it against Missouri, so we've done it before. And her and Roe have just gotten into this little offense-defense. They know what to do. She didn't pick up another foul. But no, that decision was made before we ever played. If she would have gotten a 4th, Grant, I would have taken her out. I would have gotten away from the math.
All good, everybody? All right.
All right, thanks, everybody.